Yep, we back. Yeah, gun gossip, guys. Let's get it going. Yeah, yeah. Let's crank this up. My guests gotta hear this. Yeah, man, we like coming in super hype. Yeah. Come on, man. Gun gossip, man. We wasn't here last week, but guess what? We here this week. Yeah, they gonna hear us, man. Yes, sir. Let's get it going, man. We got some guests today. We have a guest today. Yeah. Another big shout out, man. Squeezy for making this beat. Y'all know I had to, hey, Squeezy make them beats, man. Holler at him sometime. Tell you, that guy's a beast. Yeah. About to get started. We about to do the roll call real quick, guys. All right. Go ahead, send this link to somebody you know right now, if you don't mind, guys. Go ahead, send the link right now. We have a very special guest in here tonight, guys. We about to get it popping and stop playing with us. Yeah. Roll call time, man. We got the Shaggy Rifleman out there. Tech Lover, we love seeing you out there. We appreciate you coming through. Hey, Herman Douglas. YouTube Fishing Show, man. Y'all go check him out, man. He is in the house for show. Appreciate him coming through. Shaggy Rifleman, I think I said that already. I'm getting old. Let's see who else we have out here. Nathan White, he is in the house, guys. Nathan White is out there. Paul the Fifth. Paul the Fifth is in the building. We appreciate you coming through, Paul. Yeah. Hey, Paul, they got some optics, man. I'm telling you, they got some stuff. Just get ready. Let's see who else we have out here. Treston Miller, we appreciate you coming through. Seriously, appreciate you coming through, my friend. I'm gonna post you up on the screen. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we about to go ahead and pull our guests into the show. Here we go, guys. He back there jamming too. Yeah. Yeah, how you doing today, brother?
How's it going? I like the intro music, man. It's smooth. I really do like it.
Hey, man, we try to rock out on it. Every Gun Gossip show, we try to rock out on it. And I try to mix it up, you know, do a little mix, but this beat goes so hard. I promise it does. I love it. We really appreciate you coming to the show today.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here. It's been a been a good day. So,
are y'all getting that bad weather?
Man, beautiful weather today. Went out in the driveway and I washed my Harley and I washed my wife's 4x4, and so I got two good clean vehicles to make up for all the dirty stuff. So you know, I'm down in Houston, so it's finally cooled off to where it's like 80s now in the daytime instead of being 100. So you can go out and, you know, wash the Dodge Ram and wash the Road Glide, get them all clean without, you know, sweating so much.
Nice. They said y'all supposed to be getting another storm coming through. I heard. I don't know if it's another hurricane or something like that down there.
We don't need any of that.
No, we don't, because that thing is crazy. I know.
No, we had one earlier this year and we dodged it. We had a really lot of wind one night and got up the next morning and walked the dogs around the neighborhood, and there was trees down everywhere. And there were a couple of trees that went into people's garages and houses, and you're like, oh man, you know that's an uncomfortable call to the insurance company for those people. So
yeah.
Hey Chris, what's up, man?
It's bad, yeah. Chris from the 740, man. Y'all see him out there. Subscribe to the channel. Chris is super dope, y'all. All right, well,
Chris is great.
Yeah, Chris is awesome. He be dropping some bangers too. And hey, look, when you talk about the beats, Chris got the beats too now. He has them. Yes, once again, we appreciate you coming through to the show. I had been anticipating on you coming through the show and sharing, you know, some of the things about your company and just to talk to some of the people that may not be familiarized with your products. And I think your products are outstanding. Actually, I've been following y'all a long time ago. And I watch this. I watched the evolution of your company go from here to here, and then it just catapulted. It went crazy. And I don't know if you guys went out there and really campaigned, got out in the crowd just so you can give more awareness to your products.
Man, honestly, from my point of view, it's like when you see a bodybuilder at the gym and you're like, oh man, I want to be that guy. You know, I want to be that guy. He's bench pressing the world. He's squatting the world, you know? And it's like, well, how did he do it? Well, he just showed up like every day. He got his butt up and he went to the gym every
Right.
day, and he never gave up. And maybe he got hurt sometimes, and then he had to work around injuries or whatever. But like, I there's no magic trick to it. The secret is there is no secret. You show up, you get up in the morning and you grind it,
Come
just like
on,
you,
man.
man. You know, you grind it. You just show up and you never give up. And like, some people don't get it. You know, I was at an event in Colorado earlier this year, and a dude like literally almost tried to pick a fight with us in the booth. And
What?
I'm like, okay, it's not for everybody. It's okay. You know, like we can still be friends, you know? And but some people get it, you know, and they love the product. So, you know, it's cool. So
I
just
love
keep
it.
grinding, man.
It is. It's grinding, it's hustling, it's a relentless pursuit of success. And sometimes things are not going to go your way. But the thing is, like Floyd Mayweather said, how are you going to adjust to it? Right? That's all it is. It's just adjusting to the issues and the problems and working around them. And when you do that, that's when you achieve true success. And that's something I've learned. I mean, listen, Mike, I had naysayers. I had
Yep.
people saying it behind my back he wasn't gonna do it. I had people behind my back, Mike, saying he wasn't good enough. And I said, you know what? For me, that's nothing but a flame. Oh, I don't watch your channel, flame. That's okay. There's
Yeah.
other channels to watch. Go watch something else. Shit, you know.
Can't win them all,
Yeah,
you know?
you cannot win them all at all. Well,
Yeah.
again, I appreciate you coming to the show. Go ahead, please introduce yourself to the tech car and gun fanatics out there and let them know who you are, my guy.
Yeah. So my name is Mike Branson. I've been doing optics professionally since 2015. I started working at Primary Arms in 2015 and did that till 2019. And then I went to a company called Swamp Fox and
I know.
was with
Yeah.
Swamp Fox from 2019 to 2022. And then Swamp Fox wanted me to. I'm down in Houston, and I met a girl down here. We got married in 2022. Got a couple of kids that I married into. It's a couple of stepkids, and Swamp Fox wanted me to move to Denver and like uproot the whole family. And yeah, hey Christy, how's it going? Nice to see you.
In the house.
Yeah, I know Christy. She's awesome. So in 2022, I parted ways with Swamp Fox. I was like, I don't want to move. I got a kid who's just made jazz band in high school. He's a trumpet player. I got another kid that just got into community college. Don't to relocate, so we're going to part ways. And then I met up with Jordan and the crew at JSD Supply, and they were looking to get into the optics business. And like, you know, we really want to start an optics company. We see an opportunity here to do some things that haven't been done, to be a little bit of a disruptive force, you know, to bring some cool things to the market. If only we could find a guy who had some experience, you know, building up an optics brand.
Right.
And I'm looking for a job, so I'm like, pick me, pick me. Um, and it worked out great. So I'm still down here in Houston. The rest of the Gideon Optics crew is all near Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. That's where the warehouse is, customer service, and all that stuff. So I'm down here and I do product development. So which is like my favorite thing is like to dream about what does a competition shooter want in a competition dot. You know, what
Yes.
can we do to make a next generation LPVO that's better than what we have now?
Come on,
You know,
man.
like dream it up and then see what can we make? What can we try? Can we get a prototype built that does this or a prototype built that does that? I love that part of it. And then I also I do social media, I do marketing. So like I'm the guy. If you hit us up on Instagram, you usually hit me. Sometimes Bob is there too.
Hmm.
Um, so I do our social media. I try to do as much marketing as I can, and I know a lot of people in the industry, so
Hmm.
I'm kind of like our industry connection on that stuff. And then yeah, and then finally, yeah, just the marketing stuff as best I can. So I do whatever I can to help us out, and I basically I'm just a gun guy that likes to shoot a lot, and I
Yeah.
finally worked my way into the business and got a scope company to listen to me, and it's the
Mhm.
coolest thing ever. So I consider it a dream job. You know, I got a bunch of prototypes up on the shelf over there. I can pull down. We did this and we did that, and this didn't work, and this didn't work, and then this one worked better. And I love that part of it. It's so fun. Um, and you know, happily married. The kids are doing great. So I made the right choice to not move to Denver. The boy's about to graduate from high school, and he's thinking about going to Texas A&M for engineering, which he's got the brains for it.
Nice.
And the girl is now, she is a junior in college. She's at University of Houston, U of H, and she's a language person. She's doing linguistics, and she's doing archaeology and all this cool Indiana Jones stuff. So the kids really like they didn't let me down on that decision to take a chance and to go with a startup company that we didn't have even a name for the company yet when we first started out. We had
Right.
to do everything from scratch, you
I mean,
know.
y'all literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we
like
really
I
did.
I remember because listen, the budget options for the people in the budget realm, right? I had done a lot of extensive research, and I was like, okay, here are some of the budgets, and one of them that stuck out, which is I'm not sure if you consider them competition or not. Watch this,
Yeah.
but is Sealy Optics.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
they're another headbanger in the budget
Absolutely.
realm because I have a lot of their optics and I really judge their optics if they stay on zero. You know, I'm dropping my gun as long as the screen doesn't crack and stuff. Things are not perfect, but they should be working most of the time. So that company right there has kind of impressed me. And then I heard Gideon. I was like, wait a minute. Then I went to some of these big websites, big YouTube channels, and I saw people saying your name, Gideon, Gideon, Gideon. I'm like, okay, I really need to pay attention to these guys and see who they are.
Yeah, and I think probably a good time to bring up the fact that we don't pay any of those guys.
Right.
There's there are two guys, and I won't say who they are, but they're like big guys. There are two guys that we've actually like written a check to say, okay, you're a pro, you're really good at this. You know, we want you to you know, and we're gonna write you a check. Two out of like there's hundreds of guys that have got their hands on our optics and have done reviews and stuff. And even those two guys that we wrote a check to, because it's the only way that you can get them to this is how they are. I don't try to control anything they say. It's like
Right.
whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Like if
Right.
something goes wrong with the optic, it would be nice if you would call me first and go, "Hey, bro, can I get a replacement? Because like I dropped this thing and it failed the drop test or whatever it is." Like it would be nice if you would give me a chance to make it right.
Yep.
But I'm not ever gonna try to control what any of these YouTubers have to say about the product. The product's got to stand and fall on its own merits.
Right.
Whatever those are, it's going to have to either sell itself or not. And
Well, people respect that, Mike. They respect that when you have YouTubers that go on, they can give you the pros and it's okay to talk about those pros, but they also want to know what the cons are or if you ran into any issues or problems. Now, like you said, the main thing is watch this, what's the next line of recourse? What did you do as a company to help rectify the situation?
yeah, and every once in a while, like I know what our return rate is, and it's really low, and it's like delightfully, wonderfully low. Um, and there's a whole speech I could give you about that, but like if you know if you're like one out of the more than 100 people that has something go wrong, and you're like, oh, hey, something went wrong with my scope. Okay, you know, you reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, the website, you know, there's a support page, whatever. You're going to talk to me, you're going to talk to Bob, one of us you'll talk to, and we'll be like, whoa, hate to see that happen, man, you really busted the heck out of that one. Okay,
Yeah,
you know, give me your address, we're going to get you another
that
one,
is
and we'll
awesome.
figure it out. And so you're talking to a real guy that's a real shooter, and like we want to know what happened, we want to hear your story. You know, like, oh wow, you really did, you know, you really did drop that one, you know, like from a high distance into the gravel. Okay, that sucks, you know, or whatever happened, you know, you were rolling around, you were a cop that was rolling around fighting with the drunk of the night, and you rolled over on your side and it crushed it, you know.
See, I think I don't
You see
know the
that a lot.
people, Mike. The people like that, I don't think they should get a damn replacement. Stop playing. Nah, no, they should not. No, I mean because it's perimeters with that, right? It's perimeters with that, and we're going to talk about your warranty in a few minutes, which kind of coincides with what we're talking about right now. But tell me this. This is just awesome. Tell me this. How long have you been in business as far as Gideon Optics?
Since the fall of 2022. So it's just now hit 2 years. I put a little 2 year thank you video on YouTube just this week. It was like, hey guys, it's been 2 years. Thanks to all of our customers and all of the people that believed in us and all of our friends and connections. And it was like a cool drone video of me shooting out in the desert by El Paso. And
That's dope.
I took a bullpup rifle. It's lying over there, but I took a Springfield Hellion, and
Yes.
it's got a old silencer on it. That's an old AAC silencer that I've had for like 10 years, and I took it out to 600 yards out with
Damn.
one of with our LPVO, and I was able to hit at 6 with a bullpup. So that was pretty cool. And then we had a drone flying around, and we made a little video out of it. But like, yeah, it's been 2 years. We've really had our first generation products out for like a year and a half.
Okay.
So the first generation products are pretty well proven now. We've sold thousands of them. They didn't all break in the same way. That's the big worry when you first get your first batch and you're like selling the first 500 of these things.
Yep.
Dude, you don't know the nerves.
It's like
Oh,
iPhones.
these don't all break the same way. Like the battery conks out in all of them after a day or something, and you're like, oh, please no. And then, when they all work and people use them and they're happy with them, it's such a relief. Which also shows that we're not just rebranding stuff that's already been on the market. Because
Right.
if we were just buying something that was made for Vortex or Burris and slapping our name on the side, we wouldn't have been worried about it.
Right. Right.
But the fact that we worked with a factory and we developed it ourselves and everything, that's where the nerves come from, because you're like, man, this really hadn't been out there before.
Right.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that with me. And you know what, Mike, it kind of feels like that you guys have been in business a lot longer than that. I feel like I don't know why it feels like that, but it just does. And you guys are constantly innovating, constantly coming out with new things. And we're going to expound and touch on that in a few minutes. I saw something super dope y'all coming out with. I got to have it. But let's go ahead to the next question here. And guys, if you have questions out there, go ahead, start throwing them out, and I'm going to hit them with them as long as they're respectful and cool and calm and collective. Go ahead, drop them, and then I'll be doing it in between time. Y'all know how I do. All right, the next question here. What do you think sets you apart from the competition?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's actually a giant challenge, because like you said, there's the Sealy guys are out there.
Yeah.
Of course, there's bigger names than us.
Well, Swamp Fox is still out there. Yeah.
Swamp Fox is still out, and they're doing a lot of things right. They've got a Liberty 2 and a Justice 2 that are really nice, really, and of course you got Holosun, who is Chinese made, but a juggernaut. Those guys have like unlimited money.
CNH done stepped into the game.
Right. So yeah, so there's a ton of competition, and so a big part of what my goal is for Gideon is for us to rise above that base noise level.
Right.
Because there's that noise level in the market of, they're all the same. They're all budget stuff. It's all made in China. It's all the same crap, and you got to rise above that somehow, and you know what that's like. There's all these guys that have podcasts and nobody cares, and you're just adding another podcast. Why should I listen to your podcast when I can listen to other podcasts? It's the same thing, right? You got to do something to say, no, wait. I'm trying to do it better. I'm trying to do it different. So what makes us better is, I would say, that we listen to real shooters.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want to talk to our core customer all the time. And I have guys that will email in and they'll ask a question like, hey, when is this going to come out? Or why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that?
Tweet. Yeah.
And like, I always say to them in email or on Instagram, whatever, like, don't be a stranger. Keep talking to me. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're doing. Tell me what's going on with you. What kind of shooting are you doing? What kind of distance are you doing? What are your expectations on balance of speed and accuracy? Do you want an enclosed emitter because it's tougher?
Yes.
Or do you want a big window because you're in competition and need the biggest window you can get? Like, what are your priorities right now? What is the thing that you want to spend your money on next time? And then we're trying to develop stuff that will answer those real questions. Because like, if you ever been to SHOT Show in Vegas? You ever been down at SHOT Show?
Never been. I looked at Big Dre 357, one of my big brothers. He's recorded down there. I'm going this year. I'm getting my website set up so I can go this year.
You're gonna go in January?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna see you there then. You better stop by.
Oh, I will be there.
All right. So down, we call it the dungeon. Down in the lower level of SHOT Show is where all the startup guys are, the little guys, and then in the top level, that's where your big, Browning and
Yep.
Fabrique Nationale and
The big
Colt
boys.
and
Yeah.
Daniel Defense. They got these Taj Mahal, thousands and thousands of dollars in their booths, and we just got a little baby booth with a little table. But you see products there, and I'm like, bro, who asked for this? Like, this guy's all excited about his product, and it does this and it does that. And I'm like, okay, so who's the guy that told you I'm going to spend money on that thing? If you bring it to market, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to use it for hog hunting.
Right.
Like what is the market? What's the ask, right? So you have to have demand and then build a product to meet that demand. If you don't know what the demand is and you don't know what people actually want, then I don't think you're ever going to find success, or you're never going to set yourself apart.
Mike, you hit it on the nose, brother. I was waiting for you to say that. Some big companies that's making big names, I'm sure you know of. Palmetto State Armory is one of them. And that's one thing
They're killing it.
That's one thing that they make sure that they pay attention to what people are saying. I think that's a make or break now, Mike. Seriously. It's a make or break with companies. If you're not listening to the people from the outside, they're just going to be turned off and they're going to go to someone else who is listening, because it's going to fulfill and give them a product that's that kind of meshes with what they're mentally thinking about. So that's what it's all about. That really is.
Palmetto's a great example, because talk about a company that's turned their reputation around.
Yep.
Dude, their reputation
Was
in the
terrible
last
back
year,
in the day. Yeah.
it's amazing, because you know how they're just cheap ARs and they're crap, and how good
Yep.
could it be? It's only a $450 AR. It's going to be junk, blah blah blah. They don't care about their quality, blah blah blah, and everybody bagged on them, and they just kept, again, the grind. They just kept grinding. They just kept persisting and going, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? What if we could make this? What if we could make that? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh wow, they're doing stuff that the big guys aren't doing.
Yep.
The Jackal making brand new, like, classic Chinese AKs that
I got them.
A real Type 56 AK is like $2,500 now or something.
And they're forged.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, this is brilliant, because they actually talked to people and said, hey, could you do an AK that looks like the old Chinese ones that are way expensive now? Because I really like that, but I can't afford one. And they're like, yeah, we can make that happen. Brilliant. And if you go to a trade show, like you go to SHOT Show, NRA, US, any of these trade shows that they go to, dude, their booth is swamped. People are in there picking stuff up and looking at it and asking questions. I mean, their booth is busy.
Yeah.
And I go too. I go and look, and I play around with all their new toys too.
Yeah.
So,
they're pretty awesome. And like I said, I brought them up because I seen how their evolution of business, how that actually happened. We're going to do some quick fire questions real quick for you and then get back to the regular questions here. But Christy dropped something. She said, what company / organization is your dream collab?
ooh.
That is a good question.
All right. So
that's a real good question.
Yeah, this is going to sound weird.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Yeah, nobody's going to guess. Nobody's going to guess this. So I have a friend named Craig Summers, and he works for a company called SDS Imports. And SDS imports a line of
T-Sauce.
Yes. They import T-Sauce. Yeah. I would like to work with T-Sauce, and if I had my way, if I could just like write my own check, I would put Gideon Optics on T-Sauce in the factory as a combo.
Man.
Because to me, it's the same core customer, because the T-Sauce guy, he doesn't care about the brand name. He's willing to try out a new brand name that's untested, that's unproven, right? He's going to try a brand name that's new, that maybe doesn't have, the most fantastic reputation yet, not because it's a bad reputation, but because it's still building.
Right.
He's not a traditional guy that has to buy a Colt with a loophole on it.
Right.
Right. He's gonna try something new, and he cares about value for the money, and he cares about the features and what it does. And that's those T-Sauce guns, dude. They for the money you spend, the value for those guns is fantastic. And I'm like, that's us. That's the same thing. For the money you spend on a Gideon, you're getting so many features and you're getting such high quality. I would love to put my optics on those pistols, and I think we'd sell them like hotcakes.
I
Maybe
think
someday. I'll know.
it's a dope combination, and I actually have a T-Sys. I'm doing a review on it now, and I ran that shit, Mike. I mean, I've been running it with steel ammo. I've been running it with brass. I've been running it because I want to see what it can do first before I release this unboxing and review. But that thing is awesome. I'm going to be dropping that. We got another quick fire right here. Cerebral firearms. What future tech do you want to see in the optics game, and what do you think is a current fad that won't be around in a couple of years? Interesting.
Ooh, that's a good question,
Yeah, that is a
Cerebral.
good Cerebro. We need you around on Sundays, my boy.
Okay, future tech. All right.
What's up, Asher? We see you.
We're already seeing this happen, but integrated range finding, like active range finding, like the military has on those like $10,000 Sig Sauers that they got for the Sig Spears that they're
Right.
on, where you have it's like a 1-to-8 LPVO, but they're like $10,000 for these things. But it's like all made in the USA and the best of everything. So I get it, but it's got a laser built into it, and it finds the range, and then it just shows you in the reticle like, whoop, there's your drop, right? That's dope. That's wow. I don't have to like crunch numbers. I don't have to, I just laser it. Hey man, that thing's 715 yards away.
Yep.
Whoop, that's where you want to aim. Okay, cool. Like I would
So
like to
it
see that
basically
proliferate.
eliminates dope. It eliminates you doing the calculations if it's far out.
I mean, there'll always be a room for doing it the old school way. There'll always be a room for somebody to do it manually, so to speak, and to
Right.
manually range and all that. But like that's like a cheat code. Yeah, the ballistic calculators that are integrated as part of the optic
Yeah.
would be amazing. Something that's a fad right now that don't I don't see it lasting forever is and there's only one company that's doing this, so I don't know if it could be called a fad yet, but I'm gonna call them out. And I don't have a problem with this company. I don't, and I really wish them the best. And I think I really do. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. But Olight has a new dot that they came out with,
I already know what you're
and
talking about. The O
and
site.
it recharges. It's a rechargeable battery
It's the
that's
O
based
site.
on like this little hood that goes on it.
Yeah.
But then you got to recharge the hood separately. So there's
Yeah.
like 3 steps to recharging this thing, and it's like you take the little hood off, and there's a little connection there and everything, and it seems really complicated, and
Uh-huh.
it seems like there's extra steps to it, and I'm like, again, like, who asked for that? What part of we already have batteries that last for a year or two. I can I can get these batteries off of Amazon, a 1632 or a 2032. I can buy them in bulk on Amazon for cheap, and they last a couple years. Like, who asked for a 3-stage rechargeable charging system? Who wants to pay extra for that?
Right.
I'm not sure where the demand for that particular thing came from, but I don't see that going like they hope it will. I
That's
think they'd be better off if they just put a 2032 battery in that thing and said, "Hey, it's 50,000 hours and it's got shake awake and it's industry standard." And they just tried to innovate. They just tried a little too hard, I think.
you're right.
Sorry, like
Yeah, you're right. And just keep the battery on the side of the damn optic so we don't have to keep taking it off. It's really that simple.
yeah. I
We
mean, yeah. What happens if you lose the little hood, or if the little hood breaks? Now your optics bricked.
right.
It's, yeah.
All right, we got another quick fire. We have Nathan out here, one of my brothers. He said, "Do
Mm,
y'all have any plans on a night vision or thorough optics?"
thermal. He means. He
Yeah,
means.
thermal.
I think autocorrect got our boy there. So I'm going to be honest with you. We have been looking at it. We have bought some samples from some places, and the question is, can we get something that's good enough and high quality enough and has the features that we want, but still is at a price point where it
Yep.
makes sense for our brand?
Yep.
Because like a $3,000 night vision unit's probably not going to sell if it says Gideon on it. But if we sell a $500 one, but it sucks, then that's not going to help us either, because that's
Right.
going to hurt our brand name too. It's like, oh yeah, these guys, they brought in cheap, crummy night vision, and the refresh rate stinks, and the battery life stinks, and it doesn't hold zero and the mount's stupid, whatever it is, right? So we want to, but it's a struggle. Holosun is doing it, and they are killing it. The stuff
Right.
that they're proposing, the dual optic stuff, it looks amazing to me. The price point looks amazing to me. Um, but they have unlimited money for research and development. They've got so much money to throw around to make that stuff. And we have to sort of try to find somebody to partner with that we can develop with them and go, hey, do it this way instead of that way.
Right.
I would love to. I've been hog hunting down here in Texas with thermals at night, and man, it was like cheating. It's like a cheat code.
It's
Um,
crazy how clear it is too.
yeah, they are smart animals, and I respect those animals a lot. As an aside, I won't hunt anything that's not going to be eaten. I'm not a trophy hunter personally. I don't like waste. I'm not like a big environmentalist, but I'm enough of an environmentalist that I'm not gonna shoot an animal and leave it to rot out in the field.
Right. Yeah, that's
So
just disrespectful.
we went out and we murdered hogs one night. Just
Bacon.
absolutely,
Bacon.
yeah. And it was cool because what we did was we ran it as a series of ambushes, and we would get to maybe just inside 100 yards, and we were upwind of them, and we were really quiet. And you get to about 100 yards, and then you see their noses that go up in the air, like something's going on.
Yeah.
Like then you better start shooting fast because they're gonna move on because they can just sense that something's different. And then we would take them out with suppressed 5.56 guns, and and uh, and then we would drop a pin in Google Maps, and there were some guys following in a pickup truck, and they would go to the pins like a half hour after we left and move on. They'd show up to each pin, and they'd pick up all the carcasses that we left behind, and they brought them to a processing place, and food goes to a homeless shelter, and they process and put it into burgers for the homeless shelter.
Oh damn.
So all those pigs got eaten, not by me, but they did get eaten up. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
but like that was an amazing experience. Thermal is incredible. I would love to do that again. But that was the deal where that was not my thermal scope. That was the guide's. It was a guided hunt, and it was his thermal scope, and he had invested in that as a guide. So he had, $15,000 worth of thermal scopes out there for us to use that night. Woo,
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us. I got another question here for you. What's been some of your hot selling optics? Like like your top 3 hot sellers? And then what we're gonna do, after that, we're gonna visit your actual website just to give them a visual of what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So the biggest seller by far has been the Omega, which I can actually show you a prototype of that.
Yes.
This is a
Tech Car and
prototype
Gun
Omega.
Fanatics, what's up?
So this is one of the original prototypes. See how it doesn't have any styling on it yet?
Oh yeah, and it didn't
It's
have
just
any
smooth.
texturing at the top.
Yeah.
The
We haven't
housing.
figured out what we wanted it to look like yet. Still works. Still, I can still use it. But this is a lot like, and I'll just say it, it's a lot like a Trigicon SRO.
Yes.
And I didn't want to spend 600 whatever dollars on an SRO, so we made one for $200. Sorry.
It's a great deal, and a lot of people have them because I know a lot of people who have them.
Yeah, and it's a nice big window. I actually carry one on my carry gun. I carry a PDP compact Walther, and the shape of it, that round shape, it doesn't print. What gives me away on carrying is the grip, not the optic. So I can carry with a big dot, not a problem. So that's definitely been our best seller. Yeah, there's the website.
Yes, I'm pulling it up so they can see it.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's go to red dots here.
Open emitters. Yeah.
You guys have it all. Like, I was looking through the website. I was quite impressed. And we'll talk about some of the newer ones in a few minutes. But the one that he's expounding on right now, guys, is the Omega red dot. And as you can see, it has like the little right there, guys. You can see the little cutouts in that area of the housing that he was just talking about, right?
Yep. This one doesn't have them. We hadn't got that far yet.
And this one is a 1 MOA.
It's we've got a couple of different reticles, so it's in red or green, and it's 3 MOA dot only Or yeah, you can click that little drop down, or you can see there's a circle dot, and the one that I carry is the green circle dot. I like that a little bit better.
Yep, that's this one
It,
right here, the green circle dot. Yep.
yeah, gives me a little bit more to work with. Um, they're nice and bright. They're daylight bright. The glass is really clear, um, and everybody likes them. And it's the price is right and lifetime warranty, like we were talking about. So that's been our best seller by far. The other bestseller uh, was on the menu under enclosed emitters, which is that mediator.
Let's go to it. Yeah, that's a bad chunky boy right there. I
There it is.
gotta get my hands on that one.
You
Yeah,
know
there
what?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
we've our biggest problem with mediators has been keeping them in stock. We've been selling them as fast as we can get them made for $250. Super tough, really tanky. I mean, they're not pretty looking. It looks like a school bus sitting on top of the gun.
I like
Um,
it though. I like the look of it. Y'all
and you
jazz
can
this
see
up.
it. It comes with a little AR riser mount there in the box, so you can use it as a primary on like an AR. It's got a
Mhm.
little riser mount, little absolute co-witness riser mount that comes with it, but it's on the Aimpoint acro footprint. So anything that fits an acro, that's going to fit right on.
Nice. It looks like it's
Um,
3 MOA dot, 38 MOA circle, or circle dot reticle.
and you get to select it on that. Since this is our Halo product, it's the best one we make. If you hit the brightness up button and you hold it for 3 seconds, it'll flip between those three reticles, so you don't have to choose. I see someone's asking about amber. That is a very good question.
Yeah, that's Jovic the scientist.
I want to do amber. I've done it before at Swamp Fox. We did it in a prism scope. I want to do it because it helps colorblind guys. They can't see red or green very well. It just looks like mud to them, they say.
Oh,
So the amber really helps with the colorblind dudes, and I really want to do that. It's a question of finding emitters that are good and affordable and don't break and et cetera, et cetera. So we're on the hunt for an amber emitter that's going to help us to do that. Yeah.
awesome. Now, let's look at some of the new ones. I've been hearing about two different new ones right here. So one of them that I had heard about through the grapevine was the Valor, and then you have the Granite here. Now the Valor I don't see, but I
No,
do
it's
see
not out
this.
yet.
Yeah, I see this bad boy,
Granted it.
Granite. So go ahead and give us some information on this one. I love the way
So
this looks.
thank you. There we go. Just grab another
Oh,
prototype off the shelf.
there we go.
All right. So Granite started out. Okay, so there again. Okay, here's an example. I'm telling you that we're listening to real shooters, right?
Right.
So about a year ago, I'm at TriggerCon in Kansas, and we just had it again. TriggerCon just happened in 2024. I'm at TriggerCon 2023. There is a police officer, a legendary lawman whose name is Chuck Haggard, and if you don't know who he is, Google him up. He's absolutely badass guy.
Mhm.
When he talks, I listen, right? And he's been there, done that. He's done the toughest jobs. He's anyway. Chuck Haggard he's an absolute been there, done that, seen the elephant guy.
Mhm.
And he's like, man, y'all need to do a direct mount to Glock MOS because we're sick of these stupid plates. These adapter plates that the Glocks come with,
Mhm.
for the cops, they suck, they bend, they
They
snap.
they sit too high. Yep.
Yeah, they sit high. Like, just do something that's direct mount. I'm like, okay, you have spoken. I'm listening. We're going to do a direct mount to Glock MOS system. And you can see this one's in the picture that you got here. That one's on the RMR footprint on the
Man,
Patmos
that's a
side.
bad mamma jamma right
So
there.
we've got two versions. We got one that goes to the Trigicon RMR for everybody else, and then we've got one that goes to the Glock MOS direct mount with no plate.
Hmm.
And this is a prototype here. I'll show you. You see that split down the middle?
Yeah, I
That's
see
where
it.
that MOS slide, how it has that little rib in the middle.
Hmm.
But you can see where the screws are. There's no place to put the battery because usually we like to do a top feed battery trace so you don't have to like pull it off and re-zero it and all that.
Right.
Can't do it because the stupid screws are in the way. So we hung the battery on the side. So see that big 2032
That is
battery is hanging out
dope.
on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
since we were going to do that, we're like, man, let's make it a big window. So this thing is a chonky
Fucking
window.
love that shit, man.
So
It
I'll
looks
show you
so
side
good
by
on this
side.
thing.
Look at, I mean, this is basically a Trigicon SRO window,
Hmm.
and you can see how much bigger this one is. And if you like a big window for competition, this thing is the bomb for $250,
You
and
ain't
it's got
lying.
an 8 MOA dot in it. So it's a big fat dot and a big fat window, and it's super fast.
Yeah, this is one most definitely I like a whole lot. This one is really, really sexy. Very, very nice. RMSC, no go, right?
Right. It's RMR, and then direct to MOS.
Okay.
And Chris and Cerebral, I can see are hitting us up for that Valor Mini. That's the little baby. That's on the RMSC. That's direct mount to RMSC.
Do you have the prototype for that we can see real quick?
I do.
Oh,
Do I need to pull it off the gun so I'm just have like the slide by itself? Because
yeah,
YouTube and stuff like.
yeah, YouTube be tripping. Yeah, they trip. Yeah.
Hold on. I got another one. Hold on. It's gonna be like this. Look at me. All right. So this is an early prototype, but it's actually this one was too wide. So I
Okay.
was like, all right, I'm like, nope, we got to narrow it down. I want it to be as wide as a Glock 48 slide or like a Shield, Smith & Wesson Shield slide. But this is, you know what a Holosun EPS is?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like very much like an EPS.
Yeah, the EPS real square, sharp little corners on it, and it's a hot seller right now in the market.
Yeah, but it's
Tennessee
fully
Goddess.
enclosed. Yeah, it's fully enclosed. It's got a really low deck height. Again, you can see how plain this one is, prototype stuff, right?
Right.
It's so plain, but it doesn't matter. It's a proof of concept. Is it going to work or not? Will it hold zero? Will it break? Do I have weird parallax problems? Do I get distortion when I look through the lens? Like I can check all that stuff in this prototype stuff.
Are all of
But
them parallax free?
yeah, like it's complicated, but basically, you have a limited amount of parallax inside 33 yards, and then
Hmm.
outside 33 yards, they're parallax free.
Got them.
But even inside 33 yards, you can do. There's like a little test you can do, and it doesn't really matter. Like if you aim here, you're gonna hit there, like an inch away. It's the worst. It's as worse as it's gonna get. So I don't worry about parallax on these. But yeah, this guy's gonna be hopefully in the $250 realm.
It's gonna be a hot
Again with a
seller.
multiple reticle select, kind of like that the Mediator, where you can choose 3 MOA dot, circle without the dot, and it's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna go right on RMSC, no plate needed. Nathan White says, "Have you all thought about solar backup power charging?" Yes. Used to think
Like the
that Holosun would be
507C.
mad if we did that. That Holosun might sue us because they do that a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other companies that have started to do that, and they haven't gotten sued yet. So we're like,
Rubs
maybe we
hands
can
like
get away with it
Birdman.
too. So yeah, I worry about what Holosun will do legally if other people do their beloved solar charging. That I don't know if they've got it patented or not. I've done some patent searches, and I'm not sure of what I'm looking at because I'm not a patent lawyer. But if we can, we're interested. We're interested in the solar stuff. It's
Awesome.
kind of like the night vision and thermal. Like we're interested in it. We're researching it. We're looking at it. Will it be practical? Will it be something that's affordable? You know, oh, the water resistance. These are all dunkable. Throw it in a bucket of water. Doesn't
So
care.
are they like IP67 rated, or are they resistant or
Yeah,
waterproof?
yeah. It's IPX7, I think, but it's a fully submergible for 30 minutes. Blah blah blah.
Certain amount.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'll show you one thing that's important about that real quick. Give me just a second.
Okay.
There you are. And it's live, folks. Anything can happen.
We like that.
All right, so I'm going to show you. This is a Judge. This is our current generation RMSC optic. Our first gen. These are only a couple $100. They're really good. This is what Christy runs on her carry gun. And This is Gen 1. All of our stuff comes with a little low profile Picatinny base,
Yeah.
right?
Make it
So
sit
you can
higher.
put on a Picatinny rail.
Yeah.
We're gonna pull that off, and you can see that on the Gen 1, see the battery goes on the underside.
Mm-hmm.
So for the water resistance on this particular unit, it's the only one that we got to do this. So this is the only one that we make right now where the battery's on the underside. It's going to last you a couple years. Then you need to unscrew it and pull it off, replace the battery, put it back on and re-zero it. It comes with this little neoprene gasket, and that gasket goes in between. It's going to go into there. It's going to go in between the optic and the footprint of the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your waterproofing on this one. There are lots of other optics, Shield, the original RMRs, RMR Type 2, et cetera, where they have the battery underneath like this. If you don't do something like this little gasket to seal that battery away from water, and then you dunk that thing into a bucket of water,
Right.
it's going to hit that battery,
Gonna
it's going to
ruin it.
short out, and adios muchachos, we're done.
Yeah.
So that is the secret, and this all this stuff that I'm showing you comes in the box, and there's a user manual on how to do it and everything.
Okay, we got
Um,
some more quick fire.
oh yeah.
Cerebral Firearm said, have you looked into brightness adjustability when light is detected?
So that's a sore spot for me. Um, when I was at Swamp Fox, we did an optic that is a lot like this that was called the Sentinel. It's RMSC, and I still have some. Got a couple of them, and I was in charge of developing the auto sensing brightness adjust on the Sentinel, and
Mhm.
I thought we got it right. I was super proud of it. I was really happy with how the auto adjust Sentinel came out. I thought, you can game it in certain ways that you don't get enough light and it washes out or whatever, but you have to try really hard to game it, man.
Mhm.
Like I thought it was very practical and I thought it was a great option. And man, everybody bagged on it. And all the reviewers were like, "Well, if I'm shooting from a dark room, but then I'm shooting across the street and the bad guy is under a streetlight with car headlights shining on him, then the reticle's going to wash out and it's not going to be any good." And like everybody had a reason why they didn't like it. And that really made me sad. So I don't know if I'm going to do that again because I've done it once and everybody made fun of me.
Too much
So like I don't
backlash.
know.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
Let's see what we got.
it hurts when someone tells me my baby's ugly. I worked hard on that little Sentinel.
Hey, sometimes it's the truth, though. It's the truth, Mike. Let's see. What they got next. Hello, family. Christine White, we see you out there. Tennessee Goddess dropped. Oh, Jova Q said saltwater resistant. And that's a whole different beast. But
That's something we haven't tested a whole lot,
yeah,
to be
that's a
honest with you.
different beast. Yeah, that
Yeah.
saltwater reacts totally different from fresh water. So
Well,
different
I'm down in
chemicals.
Houston. The port of Galveston's 45 minutes that way. I should go grab some salt water and,
Hey,
and uh,
you know what? That might be a viral video. I'm gonna just be
grab a
real.
bucket of salt water and see what it does to it.
Might be a viral video. I'm dead serious. Tennessee
Yeah.
Goddess dropped something. He said, "Is there different reticles other than dot, circle, and chevron?"
Not right. We basically right now we've got dot and circle dot. And I've got like a triangle reticle in the 1X prism scope. Um, that's pretty much where we're at. So, Tennessee Goddess, what are you interested in that you're not seeing? What would be a reticle? We've got a prototype 3X prism scope, and I need to make a reticle for it. And I'm interested in what. I'll throw it out there to all you guys. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on Facebook. Message me and say what kind of reticle are you looking for in a 3X prism scope? Because I need to get information on how to do that right.
Very good. All right, Tennessee Goddess, drop it, and then I'll come back and touch on that, whatever you drop there. Right now, let's go ahead. We're getting close to time. Let's go ahead and talk about
Okay.
LPVOs, right? Because the
Mm.
year of 2024 going on to 2025 is also the year of LPVOs. And this is a big deal. All right. It's a lot of different people doing them. 6 hours doing them. You're doing them. it's just a whole bunch of people that's actually doing them. I see some of your LPVOs. Go ahead and expound on that real quick for us, and I'll just click through so they can see it.
Yeah, so we've got two 1-8s and a 1-10. The
Hmm.
1-10 is a big chonkus on a 34 millimeter tube. So it's got a 28 millimeter objective lens. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, but the glass is amazing on it. I mean,
Hmm.
it's really, really nice glass. Super easy to look through, super easy to work with, and like for $400, it's so good. The 1-8s, there's a second focal plane which has the same reticle as the 1-10. It's a BDC reticle for 5.56. It'll get you out to 600 yards with like a 16-inch M4. Get you to 600 yards. And then there's the first focal plane, 1-8, which is a combination BDC and MOA. I've got an MRAD reticle. See if you can click through and find the reticle picture in there. I think I've
Okay,
got one.
let's see.
Um,
Oh, it's right there.
Nah.
That's just the
There's
no.
one there's
It's
one
not
on
the
the
reticle
like, the
picture.
sticker on the side of the box. It
Oh,
kinda
is this it?
yeah, it kinda shows it. But, the first focal plane's a whole different deal. It's a much more complicated reticle, but that has a whole Christmas tree under it, so it's got wind holds, and you can crunch your own numbers if you're shooting something that's not a 5.56, you're shooting 300 blackout or, 308 or whatever it is. So it's a lot more flexible. I have a Milleradian reticle done for this, but, the factory needs to make MRAD turrets because I won't mix them. Don't ever buy a scope that's got a mill reticle and MOA
Oh,
turrets,
yeah.
or an MOA reticle and mill turrets. That's the worst. You don't want to do that. It's just a pain in the butt. You got to do a bunch of math all the time instead of just shooting. So, um, yeah, 1-10 FFP maybe. We're working on another FFP reticle. The LPVOs are really, really good for the money. And I would say this about the industry in general. Yes, this is true about Gideon, and please buy one of my LPVOs because I love them. But like, seriously, if you haven't looked through a budget low power variable in a few years, they are so much better than they used to be. 5 or 10 years ago, these would have been $800, $1,000
Oh,
LPVO.
yeah. Yeah. Vortex. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been so expensive to do this, but they've gotten smarter about it. The volume of production is up. They've simplified some things, so they're cheaper to make. They're easier to make, and their quality control's gotten better. So there's less waste. So all of those things have combined to where what would have been an $800 scope in 2015, now it's almost 10 years later. It's a $400 scope or a $470 scope. Um, but don't be fooled by the fact that this is just a $400 scope. They are really, really freaking good. Like I said, a couple weekends ago, I took a Springfield Hellion out to 600 yards with 55
That is
grain,
crazy.
and we were ringing steel at 600 yards with a $470 first focal plane LPVO on it. Yeah, thanks for not mixing. Yeah, I'm really old. I'm knocking on 50 years old. When I first started doing this, they had a thing called the Mill Dot Master, which was like a slide rule, and because they didn't, everything was all mixed up back then, and you had to actually use like the little football mills in the reticle. And
Mhm.
we used to be out there in the dust and the dirt with slide rules, figuring out how it was all going to work. So never again. We're not going to make all y'all do that.
Yeah, these
So
LPVOs, they look pretty sweet. And like I said, you got the typical, which is the 1-10, the 1x8s, all of that stuff. You have it all. The SFP LPVOs there also too. So I think those are going to be pretty interesting too, as far as rifles and actually seeing how far they can get out and if it's any distortions or anything like that. But they look decent as hell. Yeah.
this is a prototype 1-6 that nobody's seen yet.
Uh
It's got capped turrets instead of those have all got locking exposed
oh.
turrets.
Right, where you could just
So
turn
you
them.
can't move them and you got to pull them away from the scope body and then you can turn them and then you push them back and you lock them.
Right.
This has got actual caps.
And
So
then you're
again, asking you guys that are real shooters, do you prefer a cap turret that's like this that doesn't lock but it's got a cap on it, or do you prefer the exposed turrets like you see on the website? Let me know. Let us know because we're considering doing something like this. But this is a 1-6 second focal plane that could potentially be even less expensive than those and it's amazing to look through. It's so good to look through.
I like
And
the caps. I like them because that way you won't make any accidental adjustments. You know, you don't accidentally bump up against it, or if you drop your gun, it'll turn that turret area. So I like the cap concept. I have some red dots with caps over them.
it's got fiber optic illumination.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's super bright. You can't. Yeah,
Okay, Jova Q asks, where is your glass made?
it's all made in China, man. All of it. Just north of. Hey, I might as well be honest about it. It's all made of in China, just north of Shanghai.
There you go.
And by really good people, I might add. They are not evil communists. They are some good dudes who have little kids that they want to get a good education and drink clean water and all the same stuff that we want out of out of our lives. They're doing the best they can under a government that they don't like, just like we're doing the best we can under a government that maybe we don't like so much. So
Right. And you
we
have
got
to.
more in common than people think.
Yeah, and this is very true. Then you have to consider also. I mean, we love the our made in America stuff. You can't deny that. That's just a fact. But unfortunately, we have so many tax regulations here in the United States of America sometimes where it makes business almost impossible. And if you do
So
conduct
hard.
business,
Yeah.
the prices are way astronomical, and a lot of regular people just can't afford it because of that. Because you have to increase the price of the actual item. So some people may not know that. Now you know, baby, baby. All right. Jova Q said illuminated reticle.
Oh yeah, always, always. Yeah, I
Uh,
like
Jo-
them as bright as I can get them. And yes, resettable to zero. Absolutely. Yep. It's easy. You just I use a coin. Yeah. Yep. Easy to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Shaggy said I like the cap turrets for dots. I don't know about the scopes, LPVOs, and having to make adjustments on the fly. Yeah, I like the cap turrets also.
Yeah. We're still sort of gathering up data on that. You know, gather up, see what people have to say.
Tell us a little bit about your warranty before we close out here.
Well, it really blame Vortex, but it's a lifetime warranty. They made that standard. And like that's just the way it is. Like when we first started, we had some ideas on, maybe not everybody wants to pay the extra for a lifetime warranty. Maybe some people will just want like a 3-year warranty, and we could do like an extended warranty plan. They could make an option for it on the website. And again, with listening to your customers, listen to your core customers. We were going out to these trade shows, SHOT Show and NRA and USCCA and TriggerCon, and we would say, well, what do you think? We're developing this. And anytime we would say anything except lifetime warranty, you would see people's brains just switch off. Like, nope,
Dang.
nope. Like, they're not going to give you a chance unless you got a lifetime warranty. You could see their shoulders kind of slump, like, oh, it's not a lifetime warranty. Like, gee, I thought they were onto something, you know. So then that was a clue there. So I'm like, look, it's got to be a lifetime warranty, or else nobody's gonna try us.
Is it up
Nobody's gonna
under
try
any
us.
type of stipulations? Like, if say for instance, if a person obviously abused the product, you know,
Even then, like, it would almost have to be repeated. Like, if we've seen you 2 or 3 times and you just keep smashing these things up against the tree because
right,
you're trying to get likes on the gram or whatever, we're gonna have a talk. Like,
right,
we got to have a come to Jesus here about what are you doing with these optics
right.
to break them so much. But honestly, that hasn't ever happened yet. The stuff that we have had happen has been freak accidents, one-offs, weird stuff that's happened. This one lost zero, and that one conked out, and it's not very often at all. I'm talking, once a month I hear, hey, we had a return. you know oh, really? Tell me about it. Like, it's very, very rare considering how many units we're selling. Um so you're talking to a real shooter. We want to hear the story about what happened to the optic. We're going to take that and we're going to use it to make the next generation of optics even better. So we want to hear what happened, and we'll take care of you, and we'll make sure that that you get a product that works.
Man, I respect that
We,
so
we,
much,
we can do
Mike.
that. And because of that, there's not a lot of red tape to it. There's not a big policy that's a paragraph long. Like, I've had guys ask, like, hey man, can I Cerakote this? And I'm like, yes, but use the air dry stuff. Use the air dry Cerakote or the air dry Duracoat. Don't stick it in the oven, because these are held in with epoxy. You can see that glue that holds that glass in
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah.
That clear glue. You stick this in an oven and you heat it up to a couple hundred degrees. It softens that, and then it cracks, and then it moves, and that's when the lens will eventually fly out. So you just use the air dry stuff. Don't stick our scopes in an oven, right?
Mhm.
But like, just because you spray painted it or Cerakoted it, I don't think that should void the warranty, right? Um, if you break it or whatever, I'm going to send you just a black one that's anodized. You have to spray it again to match the rest of your gun. But I don't think that like that should void a warranty, right? So we just try to be reasonable about it.
Awesome. Cerebral Firearms dropped something and said, I respect the hell out of what you are doing and very much please. Very much place you well above Swamp Fox and Sealy. You guys are doing a great job innovating and keeping the cost down. I appreciate you. That's a fact, man.
Yeah. Well, we when we were talking about the concept of what we wanted to do, Jordan, the owner, he kept saying, "Man, I want to sell Toyota Camrys." Like, everybody talks about, man, is the new Ferrari better than the new Lambo? And you go on the forums and you watch you watch the YouTube, and like, I like Chris Harris on cars. He's driving the new Porsche Turbo. Man, that Porsche Turbo is so fast. And then what do? You drive your Camry home from work, because you know why you bought it? Because you could afford it, and the oil changes are cheap. You know what I mean? So like, we can all fantasize about having a staccato with the new $800 enclosed Trigicon on it, and like, it's a $4,000 factory comp pistol and stuff. Cool, and some guys can afford that, but not me. I'm a TSOS guy. I got a $400 pistol.
Well, it's a lot of people who can't afford that. And I'm going to just be real with you. Like, I think that's what I love about this channel, Mike, is that I never want to fall into a category where it's just one or the other. I like to have many different options on the channel from people to choose and pick from, whether that be budget optics. I don't really like going with what's called cheap. I like going with what's called cost effective with good quality. And
Yes.
then also you have your upper echelon, higher end products also. Those rock. And I tend that you have two sides that feud with each other, which I think is dumb as hell. But anyway, all of this stuff is subjective. It just depends on what the person can spend at that current time. And then sometimes you have people who have the money that don't want to spend on the high end stuff. They just don't want to. So you have all these different type of people. I think the thing that I just really don't like is when like one side truly really doesn't understand the other side, because you may have a person who like very expensive things and say, "Oh, that's garbage." But number one, they never held the product. They never shot with the product. They never had any longevity with the product. These are the things that you need to make a good determining factor if a product is a good product or not, right?
Man, you definitely, on social media particularly, there's lots of people. It's a tough crowd.
Yeah, it
There's lots of
is.
people that bag on you. I admit I am fueled by haterade. You know, like, like, it happens, right? But I will say, and it's not just us. It's also the Sealy guys and the TSOS guys and everything.
Yeah.
The guys that are bagging on it almost never have the product. You almost never hear somebody say, "I had one, it worked for 2 weeks,
Come on
then
now.
it broke, then I tried to send it back, and they said, pound sand, we're not gonna," like, it's not a story of, I had the product, I tried the product. It's, well, I would never try that because it's
Yeah.
crap. Well,
That's
how do you know if you never tried it?
I hear it all the time, Mike. All the time. It's the craziest thing to me. And then another thing that I hear, and this is not to bash on the guys who have a lot of money and stuff like that, because we need all of you guys. The ones that don't have them, the one that has it, all of you guys matter. But we have to make sense of what's going on out here in the internet. We got to expose it. Let's expose some things. So when you have some of the guys out there talking to and bashing, it's one of those things where they never mention some of these high end brands actually have QC issues. I mean, quality control QC issues. They don't even mention that. And it's some brands that I can name on my hand right now. I'm not though, but it's some brands I can name on my hand right now that has high quality product. And guess what? They had freaking issues, Mike. They had the issues, but nobody wants to expound or talk about that. So if we're gonna lay it out, let's just lay it out for what it is. If it's a terrible product, fuck it. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's terrible, but if it's not terrible in its budget, why not give it its props? I just never understood that. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's interesting what people will choose to forgive and not to forgive. You know, yeah, it's like my analogy of the cars. Um, you have these exotic cars like Ferraris, and look how much it costs to do an oil change on it. Look how
Yes.
maintenance intensive they are. They're in the garage all the time. There's all these things that go wrong with them, but it's forgiven because, well, it's an exotic car. It's supposed to be picky. It's supposed to be picky. It's supposed to be hard to maintain, and they forgive it. Like you would be so mad if you had to take the engine out of the car to do spark plugs on your Toyota Corolla. Like, what the heck, but they got to do that on Bugattis. They got to take the whole engine out to,
You ain't lying.
you know what I mean? So
It's
like,
a
but they
fact.
get forgiven because, oh, it doesn't matter, so
Right.
yeah.
So and that makes a very, very good point. It's funny you mentioned that because that this channel is a car channel too. So all of that is very, very true. It all matters. But my whole thing is if we're gonna talk about it, let's have a full conversation about everything. And if we're
Honesty.
gonna and if we're gonna expose everything, let's just expose everything for what it is. So like I said, I got love for all people. One thing I don't like though is products that come out and when you get it out to the range, it loses zeros. It's not running. You have, parts on it that bend and break. All of that shit. When things like that really start happening, or it can't be ran up under intense pressures or temperatures. When you have stuff like that, then that's a problem. Then we need to talk about that and expose it. But if it's not, and if it's running, and I can name some budget brands right now that I have on my gun that they said would be garbage, and they're still fucking running to this day, years later. So
Yeah,
I like to always give somebody a chance. And that's another thing. What I like about this channel is that I'm able to review these things. I'm actually able to hold on to these things, review them, do tabletop reviews, get them out on the range, put them through some shit, and see if they'll run.
I
Let's
like
see.
it.
Cerebral Firearms Drop. Somebody said, I run the gear, and if it's great, I'll sing his praises. No matter the cost of brand, I'll expose problem products. I review as well, but always give the company a chance to correct the issue. Facts. Facts.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's all somebody can ask.
period.
Uh, Jova asked a while back, do we do nitrogen or argon? It's nitrogen purged. I don't think argon's worth the squeeze right now. I think they're doing that mostly just to act like it's better and say it's different. Oh, ours aren't nitrogen, it's argon purged. But like, I don't see a performance benefit there that's worth the extra money. Nitrogen purge is still industry standard and does fine. So that's where ours are. I just wanted to answer that question because the Jova hit us up with that earlier.
That is awesome. And then I got one last question here, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you have any quick fires, you better make it quick, but we're wrapping it up right here. Right here. Uh, is there anything you want to mention that I may have missed tonight? Just, anything that I didn't bring up that you may want to share with us?
Man, just like I appreciate being on the podcast. First of all, you're very well spoken, great questions. Your crew here, the
Tech
audience that
car and
you are
gun
cultivating,
fanatics.
yeah, the audience that you have here is a educated audience with very sharp questions, and I like.
Yes.
So you're doing a lot of things right, dude, and I tip my cap to you. I really do. Woo. You're doing a lot of things right, and I'm pretty impressed, and I'm happy to come back on and do it again with you sometime. Maybe we do a cool product launch between now and the end of the year, and I'm like, hey, let me show you my new thing. That'd be fun. Getting good feedback from people tonight. It's been a good night. I just want to say, like, it's kind of a speech that I make sometimes, but like, the reason why I'm in the budget space and I'm not sending resumes to Aimpoint and Trigicon and Night Force and going like, please hire me because I don't want to do scopes for the poors anymore.
Right.
I'm not like that. I'm happy where I am. I love doing this because because the Second Amendment has to apply to as many Americans as possible of all kinds of income levels. The blue collar guy, like me, that doesn't have a lot of extra money. He's got one kid in college. He's got another kid that's trying to get to college.
Right.
He's working for the weekend. Trying to save as much as you can. I got no retirement plan.
Right.
I'm going to work forever, man. I don't have $10,000 to throw at a Scar Heavy with a Night Force on it.
Come on now.
I don't have it today, and tomorrow don't look good either. If that's the only option is the really expensive stuff, then your ordinary American gives up on the Second Amendment. And he's like, well, I guess that doesn't apply to me because I don't have thousands of dollars to spend to do this. I don't have the money for ammo. I don't have the money for classes. I don't have the money for the equipment. So I guess I'll just keep a baseball bat under my bed and I won't, the Second Amendment doesn't apply to me. Then they don't teach their kids about the right to keep and bear arms, and their kids don't teach their kids. And then years later, a couple of generations later, the Second Amendment dies out because we no longer have the voters to keep the anti-gun people at bay. And man, I'm against that. Like we need as many people to buy into the Second Amendment and to exercise their constitutional rights. And that's why I'm like, any race, color, creed, I don't care if I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't care if you're black or white or any of that.
Right.
We're
going into more hostile territory right now.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment is extremely important as it is right now,
All our constitutional rights have to apply to all Americans or they're not rights at all.
Right.
So come on board. Let's do it. That's what I got to say.
Shaggy Rifleman dropped some. He said, going into 2025, what is Gideon's primary focus on the new year? That is a good question.
We got a bunch of second generation stuff, these prototypes that I've been talking about. We got some second generation stuff that we got to make it real. We're working on it. Working on everything from these little guys to some really big guys. I got a prototype 5 to 25 by 56 precision scope sitting over there.
Nice.
Big stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Stuff, and it needs to be worthy of the Gideon name. It needs to have the features everybody wants and needs and expects. It needs to cost less. It needs to be sustainable. We need to be able to put that warranty on it and know that these products are going to hold up. They're not going to break. So that's the focus, is making sure that we protect this brand name and grow this brand name with products that are worthy. And that's how we're going to rise above that basic noise level of, all the crap you see on eBay and all that, Amazon crap. Yeah.
Nice.
We're going to beat those guys.
All right. So that's what it is, Mike. We really, really appreciate it. Nathan, this is the last one. He said, I just wish I could find a night vision or thermal scope that is just a scope, not video capable or GPS, just work for hours.
A Toyota Camry night vision scope. Yes. I don't need the spinning rims, man. I don't need the spinning rims. I just need it to go down the road.
Not the 30 inches. Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's what it is, guys. We wrapping it up right now, Mike. We really, really appreciate you. We like to rock out with a little music before we end. Mike, you hang on there on the back end. Stay on the live because I'm going to talk to you about some things. Guys.
Thanks, everybody.
I don't know what to say.
Chatting with you.
Hey, Gideon Optus in the house, man. If y'all missed it, make sure you don't miss it next time. We're going to have him back on the show again. We appreciate you coming through. Tech Car and Gun Fanatics Alien Gang. We really, really appreciate it, Mike. You have anything you want to say to lead us out here?
Peace out. Keep the faith.
Hey, y'all already know what time it is, man. I'm not from this planet. Nanu. Some of y'all too young to even know what the hell that means. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Let me know if y'all got anything. Oh, and another thing too. When this ends, guys, please, whatever you do, drop a like and a comment right when this live ends. We need to keep these things going. We need to keep drilling the two-way into the community. We got to keep this thing going. So we really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I'll holler at y'all. See y'all next Gun Gossip. That's what's up. Hey, I think Mike really like this beat, y'all. Let me crank it up a little bit. Mike like this beat, y'all. Yeah. We're out of here, y'all. Hang on one sec, Mike.